You are watching a Titan Ed video review. These reviews are for 13 plus collectors. If you are not a collector, please click away. Time to jump into a new video review. We've got Earthrise Cliffjumper.
It's time for a Titan Shake that video review.
And welcome back to another Titan Ed video review. Today we'll be reviewing Transformers Earthrise Cliffjumper. And oh man, I like this figure. Now this figure does have a few problems. Some more glaring than others. But overall, I think this is one of the standout figures of the deluxe Wave 1 Earthrise figures, in my humble opinion. The vehicle mode is loosely, and I stretch the term loosely, based on a Porsche 924 Turbo. I think that's what it was. It's not bad. Obviously, it doesn't look completely G1 because the original G1 Cliffjumper was supposed to be that Porsche, but squished into penny racer-sized, super deformed, chibi look. So not everything matches up completely to Generation 1, but I don't mind. This looks really nice. So, the vehicle mode is nice. I will have to say the placement of the Autobot symbol, I think could have been better, because the big problem with where it's placed here is that it disappears in robot mode. There is no Autobot symbol for robot mode, and that's a little annoying. And I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of trying to put a repro label up there so it matches up where it would land for his chest for robot mode. I'm not sure. So, but other than that, I think his vehicle mode is perfect, honestly. Though there is unfortunately one major flaw. And it's something that when I get to my final judgment of the figure, I will have to say may make some people have to think twice about picking this figure up. Because this is a new Earthrise, and they wanted to make this as accurate to Generation 1, so he's very small. If I bring in my G2 Siege Sideswipe, he is very small. Like, ridiculously small. You know, he is tiny. And it's not the best comparison, but he is a lot smaller than most of the deluxes in Wave 1 Siege. As to compare him to another Cliffjumper, 2007's Classics Cliffjumper, "13 years ago, this was considered too small for a deluxe." My, how the times have changed. He does come with some accessories. He comes with what is basically can act as either two cannons or one large cannon, but this is the configuration meant for vehicle mode, and you would just stick this back here, and yeah, that looks ridiculous. Yeah, that's completely ridiculous. I don't think it really works for the Cliffjumper, at least in this configuration for vehicle mode. Now, I'm going to try to do this on camera, so bear with me. He has these parts, all of this will also attach to him, and my god, that silver does not show up well on my camera. Dang. Anyway, all these parts will disassemble and become parts to form his hydro car mode. For those who don't know, this is in reference to a couple of scenes in various points in the Generation 1 cartoon where Cliffjumper would attach a pair of skis. Now, technically, in the show, they would be attached to both the front and back of his wheel wells, where his wheels are supposed to be, so he could operate on the sea. Now, I don't know if these showed up in season 1 of G1. I do know these showed up well into season 2. There's just one problem with that. During that point in season 2, Sea Spray had already been brought to Earth and was operating with with Optimus Prime's team on Earth. And I get he's the only one Autobot who can go into the ocean. I get it. He needs some backup once in a while, but hold on. Put this on so everything kind of sort of looks nice from the front. This is just a tiny bit ridiculous. And I get it. It's Hasbro trying to use the plastic content to I guess, appease some fans. It's still just... oy vey. Generation 1, ladies and gentlemen. It never made sense. Not even once. But yeah, you use the two little side bits as the front skis. These, I guess, are supposed to be the engines. And that back piece actually folds out to push the car up off of its back wheels, so its skis are sort of level, so the car's constantly level with those on there. Nice idea, I appreciate it, but hopefully when they do the Bumblebee repaint, and let's face it, we all know they're gonna do the Bumblebee hopefully repaint and remold. I'm hoping they do something different with the weapon accessories. As nice as this is, it's kind of ridiculous and is very limited on where you can and cannot use this, so yeah, very weird. So if you give me just a second, I'll get this big guy into robot mode. And here we have robot mode, and yeah, this is what I was talking about in vehicle mode. Having that Autobot symbol on the hood means it folds away in robot mode, and there's just nothing, just bare and red. I really want to put an Autobot symbol right up in here, but I'm concerned it's just going to look a little weird with him having two Autobot symbols, one facing a different direction when he's back in vehicle mode. Comment below, let me know. Do you think I should put an Autobot symbol on this chest, or should I just leave it bare? So, despite that, this figure is pretty freaking awesome. It has a really good Generation 1 style head, though. That looks... Let's see if I can get that. That looks amazing. That's very nice. I really like how his arms work, although because of transformation, they kind of go both ways, which is kind of weird. I like how they work the feet, too. They even designed it so when he transforms, the tires fold away. I wish, though, they could have left something there that would fold out on the side to kind of cover up that wheel well. But, I'll take what I can get. Now, all of his parts from earlier that form kind of the roof gun and the parts for the hydroplane or hydro car mode can be mostly used here in robot mode. You can use the two silver parts to form kind of guns or glass guns, if you will. Glass gas guns, sorry. Now, this part, which was sort of the rear axle piece for the hydro mode, doesn't really have a use outside of the main combined gun. The instructions actually state to place it here on the shoulder, but it's such a weak connection it just doesn't stay. One stray tap and it falls right off. So this part is got such a specific piece. I kind of wish they found a better way to incorporate it. I have put it in his hand sometimes, kind of used it like a melee weapon for certain shots, because it kind of reminds me of that kind of super Stempeton war machine used during Captain America Civil War. But outside of that, this part is kind of useless when you have the guns in their split-up configuration. Now, these little guns actually combine together to form the massive cannon Cliffjumper used during episode 2. Yes, episode 2 of Transformers G1, when he tried firing at Megatron to try to take him out. Now, I recently rewatched that episode specifically for this review. Cliffjumper, when you say you have someone dead center in your sights, that means when you pull the trigger, you're supposed to hit said object and or person, not shoot in their general area. For God's sakes, Cliffjumper, you didn't even hit the base the Decepticons were building. Besides Cliffjumper needing to get his targeting computer checked, other than that, this gun looks really nice, although I do make one modification when I use him, is spin this out, flip this over, bend the arm slightly, and flip this down. And I like the way that looks. It kind of reminds me of the positronic rifle from Neon Genesis Evangelion, particularly from the Soul of Jigokin Ava Unit 4, if anybody's ever seen that figure. If you want to see what it looks like, go check out Jobby the Hong's review of it. It's really good. But yeah, I kind of like that idea of it kind of slinging over the shoulder like that, locked down in place. And I do like the little bipod they've built here, using the car mode aqua fins, I guess, or aqua sled fins here. It looks nice. I like it. And yes, this can accept this barrel will accept all of the I guess Siege and now Earthrise effect parts. So if you have a ton of the effect parts, that it will fit in there. They will fit in there very nicely. They'll fit into both barrels in their separated mode as well. However, I will say, I really want someone to make an effect part that looks like glass gas being blasted from this gun, because I think that would be awesome. Okay, time to do some size comparisons. Now I have my Siege G2 sideswipe here, and I think he does scale with Siege and Earthrise figures pretty well. It's not half bad. It works well, but that size is the main point of contention when it's going to come to this figure, because, well, he's actually dwarfed slightly by his 2007 version, Classics version of himself. Wow. This is the biggest thing that I say is going to drive some people away from buying this figure, at least at full price. 13 years ago, and at $10 cheaper, got you this kind of Cliffjumper, who at the time was considered pretty small compared to all the Classics and Universe 2.0 figures that came out. 13 years later, they've made this guy, who is even shorter and smaller, and while having less plastic, he does have way more engineering compared to Classics. It's definitely something that you're going to have to consider. In fact, the Classic size range is much different from the now War for Cybertron standard, which means this guy does not scale well with your War for Cybertron standard figures. But on the same hand, while he may scale well, he is just so small. I cannot recommend him at $20. Now, I had mentioned another nitpick, and I just realized I forgot about talking about this, is his backpack. Yeah, he's a bit of a parts former when it comes to getting into robot mode. And this part, while I don't mind it coming off for a better and more cohesive robot mode, I actually don't mind. It's that black peg on there. That black peg is such a pain in the butt to get out. It honestly makes me think I may have a defective Cliffjumper. Like, I do plan on eventually trying to pick up another Cliffjumper, hopefully on a sale, so I can double up on some of his weapons, as well as see if whether or not the peg on that new Cliffjumper will be just as bad as this current Cliffjumper I own. But this peg is such a pain. I have to use a tool almost every time to get it out. And it just goes into the back right here. And I do think it's necessary, because without it, oh boy, that is bad. Ooh, you add this in here and that just looks, yeah, it gives a bit of a hump back, but I think that just looks so much better. It also helps to lock up his shoulders a lot better, because without it, they have a tendency of unpegging from the side here and just flopping around a lot more. So it's sort of one of those necessary evils, but I still think it's a bit of a nitpick in my opinion. And one that I just kind of go like, why would you design a peg like that? I don't understand why they couldn't design the peg to always be out. But yeah, you're also supposed to use it like a shield. I don't know what is it with the War for Cybertron designers. They keep wanting to give Transformers a shield every chance they get. They did it to Optimus twice now. They've done it to Cliffjumper. I think someone on the design team is a little obsessed with Captain America. But yeah, that just attaches right there. And honestly, I do like the look. But like I said, that peg is a pain in the butt. And the other thing that I definitely think is going to make some people really think twice about picking this figure up is the price. At $19.99 for a figure this small, I mean, I wish I had my Studio Series Jazz available right now to compare, because I think he's just as small as Studio Series Jazz, and that figure was also the same price. So yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. I think the figure is awesome, but I cannot recommend him to the regular casual Transformer fan at full price. If you can catch him on a sale, about $16.99, $15.99 if possible, absolutely worth it then. I think the engineering alone makes it worth it. But unless, of course, if you're a completionist or a Cliffjumper fanboy, and I know what they're out there, I would say go ahead and pick him up. But again, yeah, that price is just really, really... No, I just cannot... The engineering is pretty genius. I do feel like there's $20 worth of engineering in this thing. I think just the size of what you're getting is... like I said, it's just hard. It's kind of hard for me to explain. It's just... I just wish it was a little bit cheaper, but what you gonna do? But other than that, I think he's perfect. If you can find him, I highly recommend him. So until next time, this is Titan Zed saying I'll see ya when I see ya.